The Connecting Regional Economies Project, also known as CORE, is funded by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. CORE also works in partnership with the Ministry of Economic Development. It works in the Eastern Province and the Anuradhapura and Mullaradhula districts of Sri Lanka, helping people help themselves and the economy. To accomplish this, CORE strengthens value chains, increases incomes, and promotes sustainable employment and the creation of business opportunities. First, let's begin by explaining what a value chain is. It is the path a basic item follows as it goes from source to consumer. For example, product goes from the farmer to a collection center, to a processing plant, to a supermarket, and finally to you. Each participant along this path adds value to the item. Horticulture, dairy production, fisheries, and tourism were the priority sectors for CORE. Information and communication technology and logistics were also developed as support services. To make the value chains more competitive, we asked basic questions like, why do buyers not find what they are looking for? Why is no one buying the available products? The technical assistance was specifically designed to respond to these questions and strengthen each value chain. To illustrate the impact of CORE assistance, we can look at the dairy value chain as an example. The dairy sector in the East has incredible potential for growth. At present, only 20% of the demand for milk-based products is met by the country's local production. Farmers in the East were trained on how to improve nutrition, reproduction, and housing for their animals, and clean milk production.
பயிற்சியில் மாற்ற வகைகளை சொன்னாங்க. அந்த மாற்ற எப்படி அதை பராமரிக்கணும்னு சொன்னாங்க. அது நோய் வந்தால் எப்படி சிகிச்சை அளிக்கணும்னு சொன்னாங்க. மற்றது அதுக்குரிய கொட்டில் அமைக்கிற முறை. அது பயிற்சிக்கு பிறகு தான் நான் இந்த கொட்டியில் அடிச்சிருக்கிறேன். மிச்சம் பிரயோசனமாக இருந்துச்சு.
CORE also worked to bring together the private and public sector to talk about policy problems affecting dairy producers. To improve the availability of good cattle feed, pasture, known as CO3, was introduced for local commercial production. Eluwan, a dairy production company in Batiklo, received training on meeting national and international standards.
அதே மாதிரி எங்களோட கம்பெனிக்கு இப்போ 4 கன்சல்டன்ட்ஸ் வேலை இது கொண்டு இருக்காங்க, வேல்யூவேடட் கன்சல்டன்ட். அதே மாதிரி ஸ்மால் அந்த குரூப் ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுறது, மில்க் கலெக்ஷன் நெட்வொர்க்கை ஸ்ட்ரென்த் பண்ணுறதுக்குரிய குரூப் ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுற, அது மாதிரி அவங்கள மொபிலைஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்குரிய கன்சல்டன்ட் ஒரு ஆள். அது மாதிரி எங்களுக்கு ப்ரொசஸிங் சைட்டில் ஒரு கன்சல்டன்ட், பிஸ்னஸ் பிளான் செய்கிறதுக்கு கன்சல்டன்ட், அப்படி 4 வகையான கன்சல்டன்சி வேல்யூபிள் கன்சல்டன்சியை USAID CORE மூலம் நாங்கள் எடுத்திருக்கிறோம்.
With farmers and producers taking full advantage of the opportunities created by CORE, milk production is increasing throughout the East. Other value chains too have benefited through CORE involvement. Bee onions in Anuradhapura, black gram in Anuradhapura and Vaunia, papaya in Mullaradhula and Ampara, lime in Mullaradhula, mushroom in Ampara, passion fruit in Batiklo, maize in Trincomalee, sesame in Anuradhapura and Vaunia, interseasonal crops in Ampara, medicinal plants in Mullaradhula and turmeric in Ampara, fisheries in Trincomalee, red onions and shrew seeds in Trincomalee and Vaunia, seeds in Anuradhapura, seaweed in Batiklo. CORE also worked to improve value chains in the information and communication technology and tourism sectors. In partnership with Advanced Information Consulting Private Limited, a subsidiary of Kingslake Engineering Systems, we helped open the district's first software development center in Ampara.
ஒரு டெவலப் இல்லாத ஒரு இடம் இந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு பெரிய கம்பெனியாக இன்றைக்கு அக்ரபத்தில் உருவெடுத்திருக்கிறது. வேறு இப்போ பேர் சொல்லக்கூடிய அளவுக்கு அக்ரபத்தில் ஒரு பெரிய சாஃப்ட்வேர் கம்பெனியோ வேறு கம்பெனிகளோ இல்லை. அதே அளவில் இந்த அளவுக்கு இதுவரையில் நாங்கள் ஒரு 12 இன்ஜினியர்ஸ் சாஃப்ட்வேர் இன்ஜினியர்ஸை நல்ல அதாவது ஒரு பேரளவில் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணாமல் ஒரு குவாலிட்டியான நல்ல சாஃப்ட்வேர் இன்ஜினியர்ஸை நாங்கள் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். அதில் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு பெருமை எங்களுக்கு மட்டும் ஏஐசிக்கு மட்டும் இல்லை கிங்ஸ்லேக்கும் USAIDக்கும் இதோடைய பெருமை போய் சேரும்.
The center now trains and employs youth from the eastern province. The tourism industry also has great potential to generate business and employment opportunities. With the sector booming and more hotels opening in the east, there's growing demand for tourism services. For tourists going to the east, we trained entrepreneurs to provide goods and services that tourists wanted but could not find.
அடுத்தது எங்களுக்கு டூரிசத்தை பற்றி விளப்பமாக ஒன்றும் தெரியா. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது எனக்கு அவங்க சொல்லித்தான் எனக்கு டூரிசம்டா என்ன, அவங்கள எப்படி கவர்ற, உள்நாட்டு டூரிசம் வெளிநாட்டு டூரிசத்தை எப்படி கவர்றன்னு எங்களுக்கு விளங்குனுச்சு. அடுத்து இந்த கைத்தொழிலில் எனக்கு பலவீனத்தை அவங்க அறிய கொண்டு வந்தாங்க.
Together with the government of Sri Lanka and the private sector, we developed marketing materials to show routes and attractions in the east. We also worked with the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority and the Road Development Authority to put in place standardized tourism signage. And we helped strengthen the hotel workforce and linked youth with tourism employment opportunities. CORE helped generate a productive workforce in other sectors too. Working with businesses, we identified candidates, provided on-the-job training and skills development so that more than 300 unemployed youth go beyond a job and find a career path.
මම ගෙදරින් පිට කොහෙවත් ඉඳලා නැහැ. මේ පළවෙනි වතාව ඒකින්ද ගොඩක් අත්දැකීම් එහෙම ලැබුවා. සිංහල දෙමළ මුස්ලිම් ඔක්කොම එකට සතුටින් එහෙම ඉන්නවා. කිසි කරදරයක් නැහැ. ඔක්කොම යාළුවෝ වගේ. මේදී එහෙම අපි දන්නේ නැති වැඩ ගොඩක් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. ඒ හින්දා මගේ ජීවිතේ ගොඩක් හොඳයි.
In addition to developing a strong workforce, we helped take jobs to the east.
We got to shift a part of the operation to the eastern province, where we can secure adequate sources of labor at competitive prices and with some kind of knowledge capability.
CORE accelerated and boosted direct investment in the region through incentive grants and strong partnerships with private sector companies, entrepreneurs, farmers associations, and other donors such as the World Bank. Total committed investment exceeded 500 million rupees. For every dollar the project invested, our partners invested $2. These investments created jobs, brought businesses closer to the farmers, and opened a wealth of opportunities for everyone. To continue promoting business growth and investments, CORE also promoted an enabling environment by encouraging policy dialogue through workshops with over 350 public and private sector representatives. At the grassroots level, we empowered 14,000 households to increase their income and become savvy participants in their markets. Hundreds of families that live in post-conflict zones now have food and livelihood security. Farmers also receive support with improvements on infrastructure, including an anikut, a tank, and a saltern to increase access to water and improve production. To help break the constant debt that farmers face, we worked with the government of Sri Lanka and the World Bank to introduce warehouse receipt financing. This innovative system allows farmers to use their crops as collateral for loans. CORE also strengthened the Agriculture Cyber Center initiative of the Department of Agriculture by pioneering farmer-run cyber centers. From these centers, farmers can access TradeNet for crop market information, Sri Lanka website for extension information, real-time question and answer services through the 1920 hotline via Skype, and training programs. Farmers adopted technologies and farming techniques such as regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture is an environmentally friendly technique that reduces fertilizer and pesticide costs, mitigates weather effects, and provides sustainable access to the organic farming market. So how did CO improve the region's economy? CO developed a demand-driven strategy to meet market needs at the individual, business, and policy levels. The project improved incomes of 14,000 households and made 20 value chains more competitive. It linked 860 farmers and small and medium enterprises to financing of more than 10 million rupees, while facilitating investments of over 500 million rupees. CO strengthened the workforce with over 300 youth finding career paths, and also promoted policy dialogue with over 350 public and private sector participants. We empowered stakeholders to make a sustainable difference in the Sri Lankan economy. We made people like you the agents of change.